Alright, today I'm going to show you an online drawing program that you can use called sumopaint. Sumo, SUMOPAINT.com. Now this is a downloadable program for your computer, and if you wanted to download it you could, but we're actually just going to use the online version. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the online version, and it's going to go ahead and load up. Now when you load up here on your screen, you should be able to see the whole thing. If you're zoomed in too far, you may not be able to see your whole palette, and all I'm doing is hitting control and mousing and rolling the mouse down. You can also change that by going up to your settings right here, and so you can zoom in and out so if you can't see your whole palette there. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here, and we're going to look at all these different tools. So lots of different tools here. Some of the basic ones that you're going to be using is right here is your paintbrush. You have a drawing tool, and if you notice as I'm holding my mouse over that, it'll actually tell me what that is. There'll be an eraser tool, a whole bunch of different shape things, and the all-important smudge tool, which we'll talk about that in just a few minutes here. So first off, if I want to draw something, I can actually go right out here, and if you notice I have a color right here. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit, and I can choose any color that I want by just moving this around. I can also choose a color by moving on the color palette. I can also choose a preset color down here. I like to click out here once I'm ready, and now I can go ahead and I hold my mouse down, and so we can start coloring things. One of the cool things, if you have a touchscreen computer, this works well. You can draw with your finger, or you can draw with some other, if you have some sort of drawing tool. I can go ahead and change color, and so I'm going to add some black to that, and so forth. Basic. Now right here are my brush sizes here. So if I want a larger brushes, my sizes are right here. That's the diameter of the brush. So if you notice that's the brush size, I can actually shrink that down if that's too large. And so I'll go ahead and change to a different color. And if you notice my brush is a little bit smaller now. I can also make the brush a lot larger here. And so if you notice, here it is. Another cool thing that you can do is you can just do a single click, and so when I move that you can actually see that single click, or if I click multiple times I can kind of add more paint to it. I can change my brush here. I'm going to actually go ahead and undo a few of those things. Let's do it with Control Z instead. There, oops. There we go. Click, 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 click. I can go here and I can change into any brush that I want. So say I want this yin yang here, so I can bring it out here and I do a single click. There is that, and that brush size is a little bit big for me, so I'll go ahead and drop it back down, maybe a little bit smaller, and there we go. And I can continue looking at all the different brushes here. I can also change my brush, and so I can click down here, and if you notice there's basic brushes too. So here's a bunch of different things there. There's footprints, so if I wanted to do a couple footprints across the screen, click off that. So I'm going to go click, click, click. And I'll go ahead and choose the other footprint here. Click off the screen, click, 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 and it looks like things are moving across the screen here. There's other things that you can choose as well. There are some more basic brushes. These are 3D color brushes already, so the color actually comes out with that. So when I click on that, you notice that it automatically sets that color for me. I can also choose some other brushes here as well. So there are 3D brushes. There and there's also what was there, steampunk brushes, alphabet, and animated brushes there. So if you notice, oh, here's some grass. So say I wanted to put some grass on the ground, I can go ahead and do that by just multiple clickings there. You can also choose, and a little bit later on you'll probably need to use this, but there are some trees that you can add, and I think it's under, oops, I was on the wrong thing. Trees are located right here. Now if I want to make larger trees, and so say that tree is not large enough, I can actually change the point size and make really large trees. And so that's how that works here. There's some other things here. There's a fill tool. Now the fill tool only works if I draw something, so let's go ahead and grab a normal brush. I guess that's not too normal, but let's go to this and then that and then to a solid thing here. And drop the brush size down. So if I go ahead and say I'm drawing a circle here, I can actually, if I wanted to, I could fill inside that circle with my little fill bucket here. And I go ahead and click it and it fills it in. If I click out here, it's going to fill in any area that I have. Okay, undo that. I'm going to undo some of this stuff. It's getting a little cluttered here. There are some other tools here that you can use. Kind of fun to play with. I love this tool right here. So it actually does like a mirror image of what you're drawing here. Very Zen mode-ish. You can also use some different shapes, and so as I'm moving this around, you can see the different shapes that it can create. Say I want to create some different types of things here as well. Now, last thing I want to show you here, and it's called the smudge tool. And the smudge tool is used, let's go up to File, New Image. The smudge tool is if I want to, say I want to make some clouds. And so I'm going to go here and grab, let's grab some whitish, blackish stuff. I'm going to grab my normal brush, and so I want to make some clouds here. But I want them to make them look realistic, and that doesn't look super realistic right yet. And so I'm going to add some blue in here. Okay, and I may want to add a little bit more white in here. Okay. Now what I can use is the smudge tool. And the smudge tool will actually mix things together here. So as I'll go ahead and just kind of gently mix all this stuff together. So and not my best cloud work, but you can see how that looks here. And I want to spend a little bit more time mixing all my colors together to make it look very cloud-ish. Final thing you need to know is what happens if you want to save your work and come back to it later. So to do that, all you have to do is go up to File, Save to My Computer. Now this is not like Google where it saves stuff automatically for you. You have to save it on your own. So I click Save to My Computer. I want to give it a name. It's super important that you leave that little PNG at the end. If you don't, you won't be able to import it. So I'm going to call this Clouds. I'll just call it Cloud instead, and I click Save. The second thing is it's going to bring up your thing here. You need to make sure it says PNG, Cloud, and I click Save. Now I have saved it. Now if I want to import it into another program like Google Draw, I can do that. Or if I want to use it again, say I'm coming back the next day and I'm going to just go ahead and start a new thing, all I have to do is just say Open from my computer, and now I can go ahead and grab my cloud image. I say Open, and now I can continue working on that. So again, you have to save it manually there. So have a great time today. Today is all about exploring and creating something wonderful.